All right, can you hear me? Yes, all right. Good, find a comfortable seat. Close the eyes down. Let's start together with an Om. Please inhale through the nose. Sigh out. Inhale to Om. Gently guide your awareness to the breath. Just feel that natural pattern, inhales and exhales, nurturing you. Ask yourself the question, what is the intention for this class? What do I need? And blink the eyes open. And the first posture we're going to do is melting heart. So you roll over to your knees and walk the hands forward. Imagine your hips want to stay above the knees, and you just walk the hands forward in order to let the heart melt towards the floor. That's too intense for your shoulders. You can place a bolster underneath the chest. Maybe Athena, you can demo that. That takes out the pressure of the shoulders. We're going to stay here for quite a while, about 5 minutes. So let the body relax, become passive. See if you can find a position where you rest on the bone structure of your body instead of holding with your muscles. Also, the head can go to one side if it's too intense to be on the nose or the forehead. And eventually find stillness and find the breath. Where do you breathe? Is your breath relaxed? Is the belly relaxed? And eventually feel into your body and into the sensations. Where do you feel a stretch or a compression? Where do you feel the strongest sensations in the body? In Yin Yoga, the practice is to refine the inner awareness. And to simply relax into that present moment. If that's too intense for you, you can also come onto your elbows. If that's still too intense, you lie down flat on the floor and just let the chest be on the bolster, kind of a Sphinx pose. I tell you something, the mind doesn't like stillness. It doesn't like present moment. Because that's the only time or the only space where it's not needed. And the mind loves to be important. So now just allow the mind to relax a little bit out of that need to always be important. And rather tune into the body. Take one more juicy, conscious breath where you are. And very slowly release, maybe on the belly or on your back. And move slow, feel the transition. Feel the changes in the body while you move. And simply rest for a minute or so. Especially in this position, you can feel how the breath wants to expand to the front of the body, but it can't because there is the floor. And it will find its way. Where does the breath expand to right now? Now start wiggling the sacrum from side to side. Wiggle the hips. And keep doing that. Small, medium fast wiggles. The spine really loves that. Good, relax that. We're going to find our way into the next posture, which is called frog pose. Actually, no, we don't do that. We do a amphibian. So there are two ways. First of all, bring the elbows underneath your shoulders and lift the chest. And if you additionally want, you can take one pillow of yours or a bolster and place it on the left side of your body next to the hip, to then place your knee onto that pillow. So you bend the knee to the side and you place the knee on it. So that is a gentle back bend combined with a hip opening. Instead of having the full version of being on your elbows, you can also use a bolster and lie on the bolster or flat on the floor. Why not? The head can go to either side. If you get pain in the lower back, please adjust accordingly. And once you found your position, find the breath again. Where does the breath flow into in this pose? We are not really used to be in stillness. There is no space in our society to be just still. Something we are uncomfortable with often. So lean into that discomfort of being still and having nothing to do. Allow yourself to be not comfortable with it, if that's the case. Or maybe you really enjoy that and then allow that too. As well as allow to be with whatever comes up in that stillness. The mind being busy, making all the stories, whatever it is. Allow it to be there and relax gently out of it, as it wouldn't be that much important. And lovingly redirect your awareness towards the body and its sensations. The body always lives in a present moment. So as soon as you connect to your body sensations, you are in the present moment. Take a breath where you are. And slowly change to the other side. Maybe pause for a moment in the center. And eventually bring the pillow to the other side and find the same pose on the other side. Arrive in your body and your posture. Find the breath. Relax the breath. And observe the breath. Feel into the body and its sensations. To draw your mind towards the present moment. It's more an invitation. And maybe you can even find a place in the body that feels like a safe place. Your personal, intimate, safe space. And you settle there and rest there. And take your time to find that place. And let the awareness pulsate at this place of safety, stillness. And relaxation radiates out from that place into the whole body. Breathe into that place and breathe from that place. One more breath. And from now, slowly release and find your way back on the belly. We stay on the belly just for a little. Remove all props. Find a moment of stillness here. And now I would like you to place both feet hip width apart so that the toes are flat on the floor, the top of the foot is flat on the floor. And they're quite close, like hip width apart. You can even, if you want, lift one leg and internally rotate it slightly, meaning the heel faces outwards. And then the other leg lifted, internally rotated, and place it back down. From here, tuck the tailbone in, meaning you push the pubis, the front of the hip, gently down into the mat. At the same time, you draw the navel towards the pubis. You want to bring those 2 points closer. It's a very gentle movement of navel goes towards the pelvis and the pelvis towards the navel. You also squeeze the mula bandha, meaning pelvic floor muscles. So relax that with an inhale and squeeze gently on an exhale. Relax on an inhale, squeeze gently on an exhale. Do that a few more times. It's a very subtle movement. In normal daily life, we don't work on those deep muscles so much. So it's a treat to wake them up and relax them deeper by stretching and working with them. Good, relax entirely. And we are going into our next posture. This time I want you to come on to a seated and probably sit on start in tabletop. We're going into shoelace. For some people, they will need a block or a bolster to sit on later. But from tabletop, can you start from tabletop, please? You bring one knee to the front. Let's take the left one first. And slide the foot knee on top of the other knee. Then you bring the feet to the outside, and now you maybe need a bolster to sit on. So in the end, you want to have a seat where the knees are on top of each other, and that's maybe too much for some people. If that's too much for you, come onto your buttocks first and do what I do. The right knee is on the floor and the left foot goes on top. That could be the version when you're not that flexible, and that's totally all right. What you can do is to use a block or a pillow between the knees to make this posture a bit more accessible. So, option 1, you sit like you are and you just close your eyes. Option 2, you fold forward, you round the back and you lean into that posture, which will intensify the stretch. Option 3, you look at the knees and the lower knee is the lower arm and you go into eagle arms and you let the arms rest on your thighs somewhere and then fold. See which version is the one that suits your body best. You only stay for about 3 minutes here. Once you found your version and you can experiment and play, find that stillness again. And with this stillness, guide your mind and awareness to the breath. So in Yin Yoga there's not much happening, and that's actually the purpose of the practice. To relax into that nothingness, that undoing, that stillness. To make friends with that slight discomfort or that boredom that arises. Just a few more breaths here. And we're changing sides. So first come up, release, unwind, unknot the legs. And find a movement that your body likes. Maybe that's wiggling or shaking a little bit, maybe windshield wipers. And eventually find your way into the other side. This time probably the left foot is down and the right up. So either way how you get in, maybe from tabletop again. This time the other foot. And when you look at your feet, use the other arm. If you have used the arm, the same one that is on the bottom goes on the bottom. You can also prop some bolsters in between your legs and elbows. That's helpful. And once more drop into that silence, motionless silence of body and mind. And it's a very intimate moment, because there's nothing happening, you're just with yourself, raw and pure, unfiltered, unentertained. So the practice is to first make friends with that. And later on, if you're friends with that, I mean the self, maybe you can find a subtle joy in witnessing yourself. witnessing the body and the breath and the life streaming. We often look for acknowledgement and love and all that stuff from the outside, but literally any time there's the possibility to tune in and find that acknowledgement of self and that love and care and everything, always available. Great. One more breath here. And slowly unwind. Find your way down onto the back. Shavasana-like neutral pose. Feel into the after effects of that intense postures. Scan through the body from the toes to the head. Maybe feel into that sweet release. Good. Bend both the knees and place the feet close to the buttocks. And now I want you to place your hands on the thighs, where the thighs move or where they grow into the hip bones. So the wrists are on the hip bones and the hands on the thighs, kind of thing. And I'll push the thighs out of your hips, gentle push, and draw the navel towards your head. So engage that a little bit. Relax. We do that one more time. Press the hands into the thighs and engage the abdominals as you would draw your pelvis towards your head. And relax. Maybe a third time. And relax. Good. Wiggle if that feels nice. We're going in to a posture which is a little bit more complicated. Let me try to guide you in that. So draw both knees into your chest. Before you do that, place the feet back down and move the hip to the right side. Now draw the feet into the chest, the knees, and place them both onto the left floor. Maybe you need a bolster underneath. But now the bottom foot, your left foot, goes into your right hand behind your back. And you pull that foot a little bit out. This posture is called cat pulling its tail. So what you could do is place the bolster underneath the right knee. And then you gently, if accessible, pull that left knee back towards the backside. If that is too intense, that's all right. You don't have to hold your foot. You can also let go of the foot. And you can open both arms wide, spread them. Or you stay as you are and keep holding your foot. So that is a twist and also a stretch for the hip at the same time. Brilliant, yes, that looks good. Just make sure you're not activating any muscles and you're allowed to relax completely. If you need a strap to extend your arm, I can also bring you a strap. Just lift a hand and I come over. Make it long. Yes. Good. How's the breath in this posture? How's the rhythm, the quality of breathing? And where are you breathing? Like the body, the breath also lives in the present moment. Always. If you tune into your breath, you're fully present, fully there. So simple. So here comes the yogic teaching for today. Why all this talk about present moment? Why do we yogis want to find that present moment? I mean, if we are honest, can you escape the present moment? What do you think happens when you think? You don't think in future or past. You as well think in the present moment. Well, what's the difference? Being with your breath or body or in the present moment is being intimate with reality like it is, raw and unfiltered. If you make thoughts and stories in your mind, you are placing a virtual reality on top of that what is actually happening. You're giving everything labels and names. So we as yogis teach to come out of that virtual construct and into intimate contact of direct experience, raw, unfiltered reality. That's why we say, come to your breath, come to your body. We want to feel, experience, taste, hear, smell, sense the world and life. We don't want to think about it. So allow yourself to immerse into that sense experience. Sensing, hearing, feeling the body. Joy or love or any ecstatic experience is not a thought. It's a whole body experience. So what is your whole body experience right now? How do you feel? Can you surrender to that? Might be pleasant, unpleasant, comfortable, discomfort. Surrender to it. One more breath. And release, unwind. Find a neutral position on the back or belly and just feel again. Breathe that moment in. And relax on the exhale. That's such a strong pose. And find your way into the same pose on the other side. So hips a little bit to the left, both knees to the right. And then the bottom foot, your right foot, into your left hand. Draw that foot slightly backwards. Draw that knee slightly backwards. Maybe place the top knee on the top of a bolster. You can keep the foot or let go of the foot. You can spread the arms. Maybe on this side you need to find a different pose. So check back with your body, if that's all right. And then exhale and relax. Relax into that shape. And find the breath, the present moment breath, the raw experience of being alive. How does it feel to be alive? How does it feel to breathe? Where do you feel sensations in the body? Where do you feel stretch? Tune into that raw experience of having a body. So beautiful. Slightly unpleasant maybe. Slightly strong stretch. Or maybe very pleasant. You don't need to name it. Just feel it. And now ask yourself the question, what is actually having the experience of a body? Where does your experience of body live? Of course, I tell you, it's your awareness. Your body lives within your awareness. So relax into that awareness that has the experience of body stretch. Awareness is still, ever present, and all allowing. Awareness allows pleasure and pain and comfort and discomfort and sadness and joy and boredom. So just relax into that awareness that is able to hold all things, all experiences. One more breath where you are. Yeah, very nice. And release, unknot, and find your way into a Shavasana-like posture on the back or belly. Rebounce. Let the body do its magic. Let the 40 billion cells realign themselves. And yeah, you're totally invited to do any noise, any breath or any release that comes. And then for our next posture to start with, give yourself a hug and rock from side to side. Yes, that's nice. And find your way into child's pose. So roll to one side and then find a seated to somehow make your way onto your knees. Child's pose you can do with the legs together or wide spread open. You can do it with the support of a bolster underneath the belly. You can have the hands forward or next to the hips or even between the hips. Some people like that as well. So find your way of child's pose. And allow here the legs especially, but also the hip to become heavy. And to deeply relax. Guide your breath deeply into the lower belly and to the hip. And with every exhalation, you just let go of any tension, of any holding. To let your body sink into that posture. Let awareness spread throughout the whole body. And rather than focusing on one spot, now blur your focus to become aware of the whole body. You can even imagine you breathe with the whole body. Taking this time, this space, and turning the awareness towards the self, breathing and living, is quite a courageous and beautiful act of self-care, of self-love, probably. Of honoring that aliveness, flowing, pulsating. From here, one conscious full breath. And release that to find your Shavasana. Final Shavasana on the back or belly. You can use maybe a bolster under the knees. We won't do it for long, just 2 minutes maybe, to let the body realign. Yeah, if you like, that's a good idea. Take a deep inhalation and sigh out to release, let go. Maybe even with a sound. Inhale. And the last time for this class, turn the awareness to the breath. In Tantra Yoga, we use this as a silent celebration because the breath is life flowing. And we celebrate that being alive. So breathe, just breathe. Breathe consciously. And then introduce some movements in the toes and fingers. Maybe give you a little wiggle or a stretch. Anything that feels nice, hugging the knees or rolling to a side. Eventually finding your way to a seated. Join in for the Om if you like so. Inhale through the nose. Gentle sigh. Inhale to chant. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Shanti means peace, and peace means being without resistance, being in harmony with the flow of life, which is beyond the mind's control. With this, Namaste, practice is complete.